Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'll call this meeting of the West Valley Water District Board of Directors to order. It is 6:03 in the p.m. on Thursday, September 4th, and we will start with the roll call of board members.
Director Moore,
Here.
Director Bennett,
Here.
Director Garcia,
Present.
Vice President Jenkins, President Young.
Present. All right, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Vice President Jenkins.
Please stand. Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the
Republic
republic
for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And our opening invocation will be done by Pastor Daniel Velasquez. Pastor Velasquez, if you would please unmute yourself and lead us at this time.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let us pray. Heavenly Father, at this time, Lord, we come before you. And Lord, we just want to thank you for your blessings that you have put upon us, Lord. We thank you that for your guidance, Lord, in our steps, protecting our loved ones and allowing us, Lord, just to gather together, Lord, and experience your grace. Father, I just pray that your blessings would be upon this meeting, Lord, your wisdom, Lord, that you would give wisdom on all the decisions that are made, protection, Lord. And Father, that you would watch over our families, watch over our community, watch over our friends, and may your angels guard our sleep. May your angels, Lord, guard our steps. And Lord, we just thank you, and we are ever grateful for every breath that we breathe, Lord. And we just lift up this meeting to you now. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
We're going to actually do the adoption of the agenda with a slight modification. We're going to move up the presentations before closed session. If there's
Thank you.
any other changes, I think that's the only one, right? Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
I motion that we adopt the agenda as amended.
Okay, we have a first. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. No discussion, so we'll call the roll.
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Bennett,
Yes.
Director Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Jenkins,
Yes.
President Young.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, so now we will do the presentation. So we have the West Valley Water District and Rialto Unified School District Partnership presentation.
Good evening, President Young, members of the board. This evening, myself and Honia Chan Roden, Director of Science and Career Programs, will be tag teaming this presentation.
I think he wanted to do. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Good evening, President Young, Vice President Jenkins, and distinguished directors and members of the public. I am so excited to be here with you this evening to share a little bit about the West Valley Water District, Rialto Unified School District collaboration. Like Socorro said, we're super excited to have renewed that commitment here, and I'm the director for science and career programs. And so as we go through the presentation, some of the goals of the presentation are really to, review some of our common goals and values between RUSD and West Valley, and then talk a little bit about our track record of successful partnership, because we've been partners for a decade. Partnership has ebbed and flowed, and so really to highlight some of the complementary capabilities that we have for each other, and then of course to renew the partnership for 2025 and beyond. So without further ado, when we look at the mission statements of both the West Valley Water District and Rialto Unified, we find some really important overlapping ideas that go along with building community, basically through safety, through reliability, through service, community involvement, encouraging understanding, learning beyond the traditional school setting, and expanding opportunities. And so we definitely want to make sure that as we are thinking about new opportunities that, I'm assuming that they're going to overlap with some of these common goals and values. When I think about successful partnership, of course, one of the quotes from Henry Ford is coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. And we have been working together, and so really it's all about just increasing that partnership so that this partnership can do what the board really needs for it to do or desires for it to do. So morphing and changing. One area that we've partnered pretty continuously is with the poster contest. So there is a 2025 version of the poster contest. We pushed that out through all of our visual and performing arts teachers. The contest opened on August 25th, which, was just a few days ago. It feels like, I'm like, oh my goodness. And it closes on October 8th, so we're really excited to see what the students will produce this year. When we're looking at things that we've done in the past, we've really tried to emphasize the water cycle. So we're trying to help the kids to not just do art on just anything, but focusing it in with a connection to science. In previous years, we've been able to also partner with the city to display some of that artwork at big community events. And so it would be great for us to be able to do that as well. In addition, we've partnered on extra, days where we're talking a little bit more about water cycle, water conservation, just water quality in general. And you've provided us some goodies and even gave out a calendar. So the kiddos were really excited about that. We would love to do something like that this year as well. Another piece of partnership for this year is the Water Education, Water Awareness Committee. And I don't know if Socorro wants to jump in.
So the Water Education Water Awareness Committee it's a committee of different water agencies throughout the region that come together to education programs. One of them being the EduBucks program, which actually Rialto Unified School District was 2 years ago was the school district who took all the grants, which was great for us.
It was great for us too because we got all the grants.
So this year again, we're kicking off the program again, and we are really engaging Rialto Unified School District and our other school districts to join on to this EduBucks grants. Another program that this organization has is the high school program, $2,000 scholarships to local high school students. So working now collaboratively with the school districts, we really want to push out those different scholarship opportunities out to our students to be able to have some of those students from our district be able to tap into those resources.
So one thing that maybe you know or maybe you don't know is that Rialto USD is committed to a focus on the environmental principles and concepts. So when we think about standards, there is another document that is recommended for school districts to utilize, and that's the EPNCs. And so we had a board resolution in 2018 that really talked about environmental resiliency and literacy being a big focus for us. And so these EduBucks programs are helpful in that they allow teachers to be able to purchase materials so that they can also emphasize those pieces. So we have a STEM guiding document for all of our school sites. We have different themes that go on at the beginning of the year. So kindergarten is the year of outdoor discovery. So we're really emphasizing some of those components. And of course, water plays a big role in a lot of those pieces. So we try and push in specifically on items that go along with water conservation and reducing pollution, because we want the kids to really think about what it is that they can do in this moment. And so those are two areas that we like to emphasize for all of our grade levels. At one point in our partnership, we also were doing these water days where members of your organization would come out and we would pull in a certain grade level and we would talk to the students. So the photo on the top left, they're building an aquifer so they better understand what aquifers are. So the top left and the top right. On the bottom left, they did a mathematical model where they were thinking about how much water was being used if an average person takes a shower and it's this long. And so they were also practicing some of their multiplication skills and thinking about scale, etc. And then we moved on and we talked a little bit about in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see that poster is actually one of your water treatment facilities. It was a while ago, so the water treatment facility that they emphasized for the students how the impacts of pollution, even things that they're doing like on the regular campus impacts like aquifer systems. So really trying to encourage them to make sure that they're, again, doing their part. West Valley Water District offers a scholarship program, and we always push this out to our high schools through the College and Career Center technicians, and the techs help them to, you know, fill out the applications, etc. We know it's an application process, so we don't always get all of the applications, but we like to try. And you also help to support our science and engineering fair. And in the past, another piece that's been able to be elevated is specialty awards. And that specialty awards is really complementary to the entire competition because it helps the kids to support some authentic inquiry on their own, not just what they're studying in school. And it also inspires participation because nothing inspires a group of 13-year-olds like a check or a gift card. This year, we know that the scholarship application opens in January, and we do have a big event called Career Cruisin' that's happening in January. And so we're going to also emphasize it during that time. And then, of course, you give five $1,000 scholarships to those high school seniors that are college bound. Is there anything else you wanted to add? Okay, perfect. I just wanted to show some of the science fair projects that you kind of see when the kids know that there's going to be a specialty water award, then you find more projects that are water related. Since this time, we now have a digital fair, and we do the digital fair going back to that conversation about waste. The digital fair is a like digital project board, so it's very reminiscent of you know, large poster presentations at scientific conferences, and then we take those and they go on to SIMCEF, which is the San Bernardino Inyo Science and Engineering Fair, CCEF, which is the California Science and Engineering Fair, and we've also had students go on to ICEF, which is the International Science and Engineering Fair. Wow. So we're really excited about that. Another piece of partnership that's already in the works, but just to emphasize it, is classroom presentations. We are constantly trying to identify additional opportunities for classroom presentations. Of course, like she says, you're going to come to our career day. We have college and career days. We have college and career fairs, career cruising. You've been an active partner in all of those. And then internally, you all are working on developing a tour program. And we're super excited to see what that program looks like because we're ready with at least 1,800 kids that will take advantage of that tour program as soon as it's ready. And I say that so confidently because we run programs by grade level, and at every grade level in Rialto USD, there's about 1,800 students. So as soon as you're ready to cut the ribbon, we're ready to be there with our kids. We're committed to creating multiple exposure opportunities for students. What we know is that if you just talk to the kids in high school, that's not going to get kids interested in water. So we try and have an opportunity where we're talking about water TK2, another one 3.5, another one 6.8, and then another one 9.12. And again, our focus is on water conservation, water quality, but as they matriculate up, we also think about, of course, we're trying to prepare them for careers and just basic environmental literacy, but we're also trying to make them like more knowledgeable consumers. So even if you're not going into a science-based career, water and consumer confidence with water is a big deal. So we did some student surveys, and actually we partnered with the city, and they asked the kids in an open forum, like, what do we need more of in the city? And some of the kids said more water stores. And we were like, what? Why? What is happening? So we actively started a campaign called Drink Tap Water. And that goes back into building that consumer confidence. I know that there's a QR code. There used to be a flyer, like a little card, that was a consumer confidence report that went out. Now it's more like a link. And so we try and help even our high school kids better understand that consumer confidence report so that they recognize that the tap water is safe, it's healthy, it's reliable, and we want to not incur a whole bunch of extra costs just because of some marketing. We also talk a lot about career awareness. In fact, we have a whole set of career technical education courses that are in line with Valley College. We offer early college credit that go along with the water courses. The real kicker is how to get those to stick, right? Because, like I said, We're constantly focusing on how do we get more students interested, more teachers and administrators to better understand the need for public utilities kinds of employment in as a viable job opportunity as they matriculate up from high school. So those post-secondary. So here you'll see an image of one of our 5th grade classes coming to your water treatment facilities. We pulled up the water quality report from 2024, and this became a phenomena to explore in our environmental science class, so our 9th graders. This is an example from career cruising. We had students explore gravity-fed systems. You would think that this would be really easy, like just click it together and see if you can figure out how to get the water to go to different places. But it was actually really complicated for some of the kids, and the boys were so excited when they figured out how it worked. And then this is just another example of some of the presentations, and this one wasn't run by a water representative. It was run by a regular teacher because it's a part of our curriculum. We build it in. On Earth Day, every year, actually for the past, I think this will be our 5th year, we do something called the Youth Climate Action Summit. It is invited for the whole region. I know earlier Dr. Lewis was talking to Mayor Warren and saying, there's no borders in education, and that's definitely true. We invite all people to come to the Youth Climate Action Summit, and you've also been a great partner for that. You've sent out speakers to be able to go in. So if you look at the schedule of events, typically it looks like 5th and 6th period. We have a civic action panel, so we invite our local representatives, the county supervisors, we invite the local legislators. We do it on a Friday because that's usually when the legislators are able to come down from Sacramento or Washington. So we have the reps there. And they're not just there to give presentations, they're actually there to be sounding boards for our students. So our students have ideas for how, and so they listen to our student ideas in the Civic Action Panel. We do classroom presentations during 5th and 6th period. And then there's an Earth Day festival for about an hour after school. I like to think of it as like a Rialto version of South by Southwest. There's live music out there. There are civic leaders. We're organically sharing information, etc. The date for it tentatively this year is April 24th, 2026. And we would love for you all to come out. You're usually there, you've got flyers, you got a booth outside, and you usually do a presentation inside. And I think last year the focus was
Director Joanne Chan was there.
It was another Chan. I was really excited about it. But she came out and she did a presentation, and again, that presentation was all about building consumer confidence, and it went back to drink tap water as a climate action. In 2026, you all are starting a high school shadowing program. This is spring and summer. We've done some pilot programs with you all previously. You ran those with a partner company, and so some of the images you'll see are from that. We think that it's really important because it builds career awareness. Like we said, we do offer these early college credit offerings. They are happening after school. They go into water quality, water distribution, water treatment. Those are the 3 classes that we offer. And we also offer water calculations, which is a tough sell, but we offer that one as well. And like I said, our career technical education program emphasizes local and regional job markets. So we have a set of courses that are also listed in UC Doorways as a D-level science course. That is called Solving Water Problems, Water Technology, and Principles of Applications of Water. They utilize the water distribution book from Sacramento State in order to get them more interested and aware about what treatment looks like. And so we feel like that's really important. Of course, again, we build in that consumer confidence piece and then sustainability awareness because we feel like it's really important, not just for people that are planning on going into a career with water, but everybody needs water. We all rely on water, so we should know something about it. So here's Socorro. During the summer, we did this program, and it was our summer program was called STEM Cares. And actually in front of you, STEM Cares is our big environment initiative. So you have a little bag that says thank you for being such a great partner and some STEM Cares swag. It is an acronym. It stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. active, responsible environmental stewards. And so the idea is once you learn something, do something. So here we had a group of kids that came together. We learned all about how the water moves through our watershed. We started off in Lytle Creek. We came to the Water Distribution Center. We went to the Water Treatment Center. We went to the effluent discharge site. And one of the things that the kids saw as a problem at least the creek was waste, like just trash litter. And so one of the things that they did on this particular day was they went and they did like a creek cleanup. And then on the culminating day, we had some different representatives, et cetera. And the students were able to win $250 gift cards for their presentations, which again is pretty good. Here's another student, an example of another time that we did, some work that is similar to what you are hoping to start in 2026, that summer program. In this case, this classes that we discussed, his name was Caesar, and then we worked with with Haiti and some other folks. Was it you, Socorro? Mary Jo? I can't remember who exactly. It was Haiti. I remember Haiti for sure. To get intern. One of the challenges that went along with that is that in order to be an intern, you do have to be 18. And so Caesar actually did that right after he graduated. So that part is a little bit of a challenge. We are super excited, like I said, to have had such a successful partnership in the past and to have such good examples or artifacts of times when things have really worked well. And we are excited and open to think about how we can grow that in the future to really build on some of our past successes and have some new opportunities because we're living in a whole new age. So I don't know if Socorro wanted to add anything, but I just really appreciate your time this evening.
We are very excited to start working with our school districts even closer, and with the completion of the Romer facility, having those tours up there, engaging our students with these programs.
Well,
I don't know if I
thank you so much. Thank you for the swag. Does anyone have any questions?
I want to say thank you
Comments?
for a wonderful presentation. I'm very excited that we participate with the school district, and I'm looking forward to many more years of participating.
I also want to thank you, and actually, I would like to see the program grow and have more collaboration and see how we can do more partnerships and grow the program so we can continue to bring in students that have those, when they turn 18, they could become interns and possibly even come work with us. So I really look forward to that.
likewise.
Great presentation, and I've been talking about this for a couple of years, and it's good the vision out there and that we're working on it. Same thing, we have our local people, our local students committing here and possibly working here, and then have a pipeline for them to come in at entry level is awesome because it takes hoops sometimes to get people in this, but also educating them at an early age not just educates them, but they're going to talk to their parents and their families. When you learn about water, you share that because everybody doesn't know about it. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you for your presentation. Your enthusiasm is very appreciative, and I'm sure it benefits with the students and with the faculty. Look forward to continuing the relationship, and thanks again.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, President Gregg. I also want to acknowledge that we have the president of the Southern California Water Coalition here, who can also advocate that it's very important, water and the water industry and the water jobs. So I just want to acknowledge that she's in the room today.
So I will echo the comments of the board and just say thank you, and it was a great presentation, and we look forward to a continued partnership with you on this wonderful work that you're all doing. So thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. Okay, so thank you. We really do appreciate it. It's wonderful to see the fruits of such hard work on the staff's part. So now we will go to the closed session item. We'll do public comment for closed session items.
Members of the public may participate and give public comment in one of four ways. In person at West Valley Water District Boardroom located at 855 West Baseline Road here in Rialto, California. By joining the Zoom meeting with access code 840-293-7790 or by telephone by calling 888-475-4494 with that same access code or by emailing administration@wvwd.org.
Do we have any requests for public comment on closed session items?
We do not.
Is there anyone on the Zoom or in the public who would like to speak on the items on closed session? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close public participation on closed session, and we will adjourn into closed session. Thank you. All right, we are back from closed session. We'll have a report out from closed session.
Yes, Mr. President, the board met in closed session under 54956.9 for the case listed, and there was no reportable action under the Brown Act.
Great, thank you so much. All right, so we've already adopted our agenda, so now we'll go to the consent calendar. We have one item for the consent calendar, and if there's no questions or edits, I'll entertain a motion on the consent calendar.
I motion that we adopt the consent calendar as presented.
Okay, we have a first. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. If there's no changes or discussion, we'll entertain the motion.
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Bennett,
Yes.
Director Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Jenkins,
Yes.
President Young.
Yes. All right, so now we'll go to business matters. And our first one up, we have the headquarters facilities master plan.
I'm sorry, President Young. I believe we skipped over our public participation. We only did the
Oh.
one for closed session.
You are correct. Sorry about that. All right, we'll do our public participation.
Members of the public may participate and give public comment in one of these ways: in person at West Valley Water District's admin boardroom located at 855 West Baseline Road, Rialto, California; by joining the Zoom meeting with access code 840-293-7790, or by telephone by calling 888-475-4499 with the same access code, or by email to administration@wvwd.org.
Okay. Have we received any requests for public comment?
We have not.
Is there anyone on the Zoom or in person who would like to address the body? So please indicate. All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close public participation. And thank you for that. All right, so now we'll go back, business matters. The first one, we have the headquarters facilities master plan.
Thank you for letting us present this item again. This may seem like a little bit of a repetitive item because we've been bringing this through committees and through the process. We have been involving the board in some workshops to discuss the facilities master plan. But the goal here today is to allow our consultants, PBK, we have Joshua Jackson and Joe Manfreda, to present the final findings of their report. And our goal is to get to the point that we select a preferred option, and then staff here is going to talk a little bit after PBK's presentation to talk about some of the next steps forward and what we're hoping to do after this effort is finalized with PBK. So with that, I would like to introduce Joshua Jackson and Joe Manfreda.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Good evening, President, Board, General Manager, and staff. It's our pleasure to join you this evening to present the findings of the Headquarters Facilities Master Plan. Perfect. Thank you so much. So this evening, we'd really like to sort of walk through the master plan in its entirety. We'll give a recap of the process that brought us to this point. We'll walk through chapter by chapter to indicate what the plan includes. We will talk a little bit in more detail on the preferred plan that has been developed in conjunction with the team. And then we'll share some of the next steps, and we'd be delighted to open it up for discussion and questions at the end. As Rocky said, my name is Joshua Jackson. I'm the Director of Planning with PBK.
And thank you again for having us. I'd just like to say that we appreciated starting this process with you all about, I think it was last year around this time. And as Rocky mentioned, this is going to be some familiar topics, but there is going to be some detail in here I think that you'll be interested in, such as delivery method and so forth. But again, thank you for having us. And again, I'm Joe Manfreda, and looking forward to tonight and answering any questions if you have any.
So to give a quick recap of the master planning process, the work is anchored in data. We sent teams of engineers out to collect information on the conditions of the existing facility. We met with representatives of each department and the leadership team to understand the programs and operations and the needs of the various activities and teams, and then worked with leadership to develop projections into the future so that the plan would be future ready. We also did some stakeholder engagement with various departments and conducted a workplace survey that helped inform some of the priorities and values of the team here. We also looked at some contemporary standards and some of your peers in the area to bring best practices to identify which types of investments would have the most positive outcome. The plan that we're presenting today will have a roadmap with prioritized projects, long-term cost projections, and can help support various strategic initiatives in the future. So the plan itself has 6 different sections. The content is at a high level, an overview and analysis of the existing facility, more detailed information on those best practices and guidelines that I spoke about, an overview of the program hosted by the headquarters facility here at the West Valley Water District today and into the future, test fits of 3 alternative planning scenarios with pros and cons of each. Based on that analysis, a preferred plan for moving forward, and then I'll just do a brief overview of the appendix and some of the data that's in there, which may be relevant on a deeper dive than we have time for this evening. So at the start of this report is a executive summary, which is really intended to serve as a standalone document that can give an overview of everything in brief. It is highlights the key findings. It includes the plan at a glance, as well as the 3 alternatives, and also includes some of the detailed findings from the existing conditions analysis of the existing site. In terms of the Water District Headquarters best practices, this section draws from some contemporary standards, LEED, I'm sure folks have heard of with regards to sustainability, but we also drew heavily from well building standards, which are related to occupant wellness and performance in those buildings. And then we also took a close look at the Coachella Valley Water District headquarters, which was recently constructed and has some best practices that we wanted to bring to the study here. One thing I do want to highlight is the well building standards does include some efficiency factors that indicate how staff would perform better and maintenance and operations costs would be lower in a new building. Moving on to the program analysis, we did a lot of work taking the existing floor plans, color coding them and assessing utilization, comparing the breakdowns of space and things like restroom fixtures per employee, comparing that to different standards. We also included the feedback that we received from the different focus groups we met with representing each department. So that was a bunch of really useful information about the adjacencies and specific requirements of each group. We also included the findings of the workplace survey, which was distributed to all employees. And this all builds into future projected program needs in terms of staffing and square footage that we could use for our development of the 3 alternative planning scenarios. As I mentioned, we developed 3 different planning scenarios to evaluate different courses of action. I'll walk through each of those 3 options in a moment, but just wanted to do a high-level overview. Option number 1 was looking at what is the sort of the minimal spend that you could do at this site. Option 2 was looking at a full modernization and renovation of this site for use in the future as a headquarters. And option number 3 was looking at a property we call the Linden property next to the Romer treatment facility, looking at developing a new headquarters at that site. We were looking at how different elements fit on the site, developed cost estimates for each option, looked at how some of those efficiency factors, those savings in the long term on operations, maintenance, and staff productivity, and did a comparative analysis of these 3 to identify an optimal path forward. So, as I mentioned, option 1 is really the taking a look at what's the smallest investment you could make that would potentially make sense. And at this site, we were really looking, it comes down to replacement of building C for operations. This scenario does not consider substantial improvement to the main headquarters building. So there is built into this scenario some future work that would need to be done. This is one negative about option one is it doesn't solve all of your problems. But we do have an estimate that you could replace the building C, the operations building, replace it with a right-sized modern facility for about $18 million. I will re-emphasize that doesn't address many of the concerns here in this building that we're in right now, and there would be additional projects that would be expected to be performed in the future. Option two is the full renovation of the main building that we're in right now, a full modernization. So that's including the boardroom, where all the departments are sitting, as well as we looked at repurposing the FBR building should it become available in the future for operations, and the addition of an additional small building to accommodate the projected program. This test fit scenario does address all of the concerns that were identified. It has an estimated cost of $71.2 million, and would lead to improved staff wellness, we anticipate, as well as the reduced maintenance and operations cost. But there may be a need to look into working with some of your neighbors to get additional parcels of land to accommodate transportation and parking needs. Still, overall, this is a plan that would address most of your needs at about a $70 million price point.
I have a question.
Yes.
For option two, for modernization of the building, how long would that be? What's the lifespan of modernizing the building?
So it's a great, when you say the lifespan, the duration of the project, or how long we would expect that modernization to serve the needs?
That's the question, yes.
Okay. We would expect that, and Joe, feel free to chime in, but we're talking about 50-year time horizon, that this would be a building that would be adequate and modern for a roughly 50-year time frame.
Yeah, no, and it's true that even though we shoot for 50 years, usually like right around 40 years is when people are starting to do this meeting again, you know, so there is longevity. We will not be doing something that in 10 to 20 years you're having to start over again, or you're starting to, you know, having to fix everything. That's not what we are designing for that price.
And when you say, maybe I missed it, I apologize, but when you say modernize, does it mean that?
Well, it would be a full renovation. In other words, like if you look at the buildings there, the building A, which is the one we're in now, that would have to have all the design consideration where we would sit with, you know, with the users, and we start the whole design process and programming. And we would now decide what that's all going to turn into in reality as a design. And that's where we would modernize the entire building. That means the room that we're in, I'm just making this up, it maybe the program becomes something where you wanted it more multi-purpose, and it's going to be a little bit larger. Maybe it's large enough to where you got a bifolding wall that you could separate a portion off, and maybe it's rentable space to the community and some learning type of water features out front. We don't know, but it's going to be modern and using the same shell, but being cost effective in the sense where we're not going to tear down all of the building and build it back in its place. We'll use as much as we can to achieve that program. But you may get departments that are going to move into a different area because it makes more sense. We may be cutting open windows into walls that don't have windows, things like that. So it'll be a full modernization, and it'll be something where even your street and curb appeal, the facade will be something that, you know, including some landscaping to where your parking and all looks fresh and new. And then, of course, you're seeing another building in the center added. And then, of course, the FBR building completely getting another look at that as well, so we could start working in that area.
Okay, thank you.
Does that help?
Yes.
Answer your question?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Good question. Option three, I think in many ways is probably the simplest one to wrap your minds around. It is an entirely new ground-up building at a separate site. On the one hand, we would expect the most beneficial outcomes coming out of this. A new building built to the contemporary standards, we would expect to have the highest performance. Of course, it also has the highest anticipated cost. So for the purposes of this exercise, putting the proposed program into an entirely new building at this site, we have an estimate for comparison purposes of about $74 million. Something I do want to note is that would leave this property that we're on right now available for potential. Didn't explore what form that could take, but one benefit of option 3 is you are left with this site to do something with. And something let me jump in for, I should have explained this at the beginning. The cost estimates for these 3 options are very high level planning cost estimates for comparative purposes. In a moment, we'll do a deep dive on the cost estimates for the preferred plan. These are really at a high level for comparison purposes, apples to apples across these 3 scenarios.
And just briefly, I was going to say, just to kind of reiterate that last question, that good question that you had, you can see that the cost estimates are very, very close from the option 2 to 3. And so when you look at 3, it's a blank canvas. Everything's new. We can design together to make whatever you want for almost what you'd be paying in the, for the option 2. Now, the option 2, though, not to say it isn't a good option, it's a very good option, but you wind up with what's already here. If these windows don't work in our program, now we're scrapping them. If there's other areas we have to add windows, or we're taking mechanical units and systems off the roof and doing in-kind replacements or whatever, it's a little more cumbersome. For the same type of money, you can, it's like fixing and putting a new engine and transmission in your car or buying a new car type of thing. And so they're both good options, but one of them makes it so much more what you want to do because you're going to drive the design with us, and that is when it's very close in the same cost estimate that Joshua just mentioned.
So I'm sorry, can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
The 74 million, is that in today's price?
Yeah, that is current unit cost for today's prices. It does have a shelf life because escalation and everything moving forward, but there is a built-in escalation in it.
Not this one.
I want to add that. So the deep dive cost estimate, we do talk about cost escalation that I think Josh is going to get into. But in general, these are looking at $25 projected out to 2030 with a 5% escalation per year.
5% per year?
So this segues very nicely into the next slide. Based on the input of the team that we were working with, we advanced the development of that option 3, getting from just basic massing into what some of the actual different spaces would be, the nuances between building an operations building versus an office or a boardroom. And yes.
I do have a question.
Please.
Plan 3?
Yes.
Since it's from the ground up, it would probably move a little bit more expediently than Plan 2.
Certainly.
Significantly faster, right?
Whenever you're modernizing a property that you are continuing to use, you have to be very careful with phasing. There would be a series of steps of processes. With option 3, you could go build the whole new thing all at once while continuing to use the old facility, and then you move in one fell swoop.
And you really don't know what you're getting when you cut into the walls and ceilings. So there's a lot of elements that there.
She's talking, also that we call a swing space. It's like, where does everybody work while this is being worked on? So that's where the phasing comes in. So possibility would be, one alternative could be maybe you got like portable trailers on site somewhere, and that's kind of portable offices for the next 12 months or whatever. So you can see there's a lot that goes into it. And again, if that's your only option, it's not a bad one. We do it all the time. However, yeah, in this case, you're working here till your new one's ready, and then it's a move-in, and then, of course, the revenue or repurposing of this building is always there for you.
Thank you.
Just want to add one more thing on option 3. I mean, that brings all of our facilities, all of our staff together to one site with the Romer facility, and then allows that kind of community education element to cross over between whatever we build in the new building with a walk-around tour at Romer. So I thought that's always something to consider.
Great point. So in terms of that cost estimate, Director Garcia, we developed this concept a little further, enough to develop a more refined estimate. This includes compliance with street frontage requirements, Cal Green, parking requirements for electric vehicles, things like that, as well as we got a detailed list of equipment to include. And then we also escalated that cost for an estimated 2030 construction date. With all of that rolled up, we have a more refined, complete estimate of approximately $79 million. So that's a more informed, complete cost estimate for the complete project. There's a lot more detail in the plan. I'm not going to go through line by line, but in the appendix of the document, we do have all the details that are used to inform the program, each of the scenarios, as well as the cost estimate. So I know this is a group which appreciates information and data, and so we've included each of those components in the appendix so you can follow the work and see how these conclusions were reached. Pivoting now to some next steps. As we think about proceeding, we would want to do some due diligence on the Linden site to make sure it's as suitable for this as we believe it is. A little more advanced conceptual design to refine the components of the building, and then move into a project delivery method. We'll talk about this in a little bit in the next slide, but this is fundamentally how are you procuring your building, what method. And then obviously once a delivery method is selected, you would move into design and construction. The team asked us to talk a little bit about project delivery methods, and there's little graphics representing two of the most common project delivery methods on the screen here. Design, bid, build is very much the traditional way that we think about procuring projects. A owner engages with an architect to produce the design. That design is then completed and put out to bid for contracting, and then different builders will build to contract to build that project. So the district would engage with two separate entities, a designer and a builder. By contrast, in the design-build project delivery method, a design-build entity comprised of both the builder and the architect would be formed ahead of time to bid on the project, and you as the owner would engage with a single entity. There's some pros and cons with that. It's also worth highlighting that there are numerous other project delivery methods, which I didn't include on this slide. In a moment, we'll talk about leaseback, which is another project delivery method available to public entities in the state of California. In that method, at a very high level, an owner will lease a property for a nominal fee, say $1, to a builder, and then when the project is completed, the owner will lease it back from the builder over a certain amount of time, and that's how the project is paid for. There's also one called progressive design build, which has some of the benefits of the design build method, but has a different contracting structure so that you would be able to directly engage with the architect and not have to work through a contractor. In terms of timeline, we took a rough stab at giving some guidelines to the timeline that could be expected for design bid build at the top, design leaseback in the middle, and design build at the bottom. There would have to be some time in the front of each of these to indicate the owner, you guys, taking some time to figure out what method to do. A key point to highlight is in design build, you would work with one architect to produce what are called bridging documents or criteria documents that would be used by design build entities to bid on the project. They have to have a rough concept of the design so they know what to propose, and that means that you're having two architects involved with the process potentially. So that's a little bit longer. Again, there's a lot of other variables in this that would need to be considered, so I want to think of this as a high-level framework. I can't tell you that leaseback is always faster than design bid build, but by the structure we would anticipate it to move a little faster. We tried to create a little chart here of some of the pros and cons. At a very high level, the design bid build process is probably the most familiar one. So for all stakeholders, that's a very familiar process, but it does potentially have a longer schedule because you are fully engaging with an architect and producing a design and then doing a second solicitation for a builder. Whereas in the design build, you're engaging both of those together, which has some streamlined, but there's still that bridging architect. So there's a lot of complications. Lease back, you, the owner, would still have the opportunity to separately engage with an architect and a builder, but there's the opportunity for those two entities to collaborate in a pre-construction phase of the work. That is also a benefit of what we call progressive design build. So there's a lot of different options, a lot of different pros and cons, and this is something which is potentially worth a longer conversation, but we simply wanted to introduce this framework and some of the pros and cons of different project delivery methods. Make sure I've got all my notes here. Okay. So that concludes the presentation, and we'd love to open it up for questions and discussion. Before we move on to that, I just want to take a moment to recognize the team here at West Valley Water District we had the pleasure of working with, in particular Rocky Wellborn, who I think shepherded us through this process very well, and just wanted to give the gratitude to Rocky and his whole team here. It's been a real pleasure working with you guys. So with that being said, happy to answer any questions, any topics you guys want to get into. This is an exciting place of developing new headquarters that you guys are at.
I'd like to add a few more things if you guys don't mind before we get to questions. So I want to thank the PPK team for all the hard work they did on this. And understanding the level of detail that goes into this is a really important, critical step in a huge financial decision for the district. So I think what we were trying to drive home, especially with those last slides, is there's still a lot of decisions that we need to make in how we deliver this project and how we provide the best value to our ratepayers. And staff's currently evaluating those and is trying to develop a plan to get this project done in an effective, prudent manner. So over the next few weeks, I think John, Linda, myself are going to be trying to talk about some of those pros and cons and what do we really feel are important for this project going forward. And as a requested action item from the board today, the staff report includes that we were, based on our committee interactions and previous actions with the board, that the board select option 3 as our preferred option. But that's part of the discussion and action item that we were hoping the board would take today.
And are you looking for us to weigh in as far as the delivery method, or is that something which staff is still going to evaluate?
I think staff's still evaluating. John, feel free to chime in, but staff's still evaluating it. But at this stage, we're looking to evaluate those actions and maybe prepare a solicitation package.
Just wanted to clarify if you needed that or not.
Yeah, I think need a little more time. I think we're kind of thinking design, bid, build was the way to go. The more we've learned a little bit more about progressive design build, which I think has some of the benefits of both design build and design bid build, and can maybe reduce the schedule a little bit and reduce the uncertainties as to final cost. So I think staff, we would like a little bit more time to suss that out, if you will.
But I would think this recommended action would cover all of that. It would be not only to pursue option 3, but to look into the RFP proposals and other things to do. You wouldn't have to, I mean, any decision would have to come back to the board. So even just saying, yes, let's move forward with option 3 and authorize the general manager to prepare RFP and related contracts, you're not committing yourself to anything today. You're just getting them set down a certain path.
Correct.
Agreed.
All right. Any questions for the team here?
Yeah, this is to the general manager. What did we use for the Romer expansion?
That was design build?
Design build. And you're saying that based on what lessons learned from that project, that design bid build would probably be an option to consider this time around?
Yeah, I think between those two options, we would probably choose design bid build for this project. The nature of the project, thinking the board and staff would want to have a lot of input on the quality and the features of the new facility. We've encountered some issues on the design build process that I think we don't want to repeat for this type of project. But we did learn more about this progressive design build concept. We think that can provide some of the benefits of both. So maybe with that, since Linda, would you like to add any comments relative to Romer and our experience with the design build process?
That don't get into any particular details as to
No.
what the issues were.
Yes,
Yeah,
no,
okay.
absolutely. So we've done both. Most of our water lines, our pipelines, reservoirs, pump stations, we do design, bid, build. We have done the design build with the Romer. So there are pros and cons, as you've mentioned, to both ways to do the project. So that's what we want to look into further.
Back to council's comments, we're just going to approve that we are selecting option 3 and authorizing you to move forward with coming up with a plan of what you want to do and which process we want to maybe pursue. And then that would come back, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think, Rocky, this requested action would cover that.
That's the way I view it, but we're going to be meeting with BBK to make
Oh,
sure
sure.
that
But there's no commitment
we
here to do
comply
any
with everything.
particular delivery.
So based on the different delivery methods, there are certain regulatory or legal requirements that we'd have to follow, requiring board notification, even consistent with our procurement policy. But this action item doesn't preclude us from doing any of those.
Okay. Any questions on the presentation or what's before us?
Thank you for that presentation. It was very detailed.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, I'll entertain a motion on the staff recommendation if there's no discussion.
I'll make the motion to select option 3 as the board's recommended option for implementation and authorize the general manager to prepare and solicit a request for proposals for design and other related professional services.
Okay, all right, thank you. We have a first. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any discussion?
No.
Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and call the roll.
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Bennett,
Yes.
Director Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Jenkins,
Yes.
President Young.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. This is very exciting.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, so next up, we have business mayor number the Fontana Chamber of Commerce sponsorship.
Good evening, President Young, Vice President Jenkins, members of the board. This evening, I'm presenting on the Fontana Chamber of Commerce Gala. So a little bit of background on this. The Fontana Chamber of Commerce will be hosting its annual gala on September 27th at Manheim, Southern California. This event brings together local elected officials, community leaders, business partners, and organizations for the annual board directors installation and recognition ceremony. The sponsorship levels will provide this district with increased visibility in the community, networking opportunities with regional leaders and partner agencies. The cost of sponsorships varies by level. Staff has reviewed the budget and confirmed funding is available under sponsorship. Participation will also allow designated board members and staff to represent the district at this event. The board is asked to provide direction to staff regarding potential sponsorship of the Fontana Chamber of Commerce Annual Gala, including whether to participate and if so, at which sponsorship level in accordance with district sponsorship policy. Sponsorship opportunities include the bronze sponsorship at $3,000, which includes the name on event, signage, and 4 tickets. Silver sponsorship includes $5,000, which is logo on website, name, logo on all event signage, and 6 tickets. And that is the end of my
Okay.
report on this.
And just want to kind of add to what was in the staff report that this is coming to us because of the new sponsorship policy which we adopted. So because of the requested amount, it kicks in us having to take it up here. So just wanted to clarify that as to why it's on the agenda.
Correct. Over
Yeah.
2,500 it goes to the board of directors for approval.
Yeah. So what's
Well,
everybody's thoughts?
What was the requested amount for the sponsorship?
There are 2 levels. There hasn't been a request itself. There's just 2 levels for our names to be out there. Last year we did 5,000.
Okay.
But there's the first level is 3,000, which is the name on event, signage, and 4 tickets. That's for bronze. For silver sponsorship, it's 5,000. Logo on website, name, logo on all event signage, and 6 tickets.
Okay. I don't have we've done 5,000 last year and we have it in the budget. So I would support continuing the support that we have with the Fontana Chamber of. They've been our. We've worked with them for on a lot of events, and we are part of the Chamber of Commerce, and so that's what I would support the 5,000.
You need a motion for that, or?
Yeah, we will. Any other thoughts, or?
No.
Okay, well then I support a motion to provide the Chamber of Commerce with the silver sponsorship of $5,000 so that we can get our logo on our website, name, logo on all event signage, and 6 tickets.
Okay, we have a first. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any discussion?
I have a question though. What's gold? Is there a gold?
There is. I believe.
7,500.
Gold and platinum.
Okay. Okay.
There's a higher level.
I see it. I got it. Just thought I'd ask.
Now, is there any way we can try to get better seating? Because I know last year we were kind of wedged next to the edge there, and we had the drapery on us.
Oh, that must have been the gold.
Yeah. All right. If there's no other discussion, we'll call the roll.
Director Moore?
Yes.
Director Bennett?
Yes.
Director Garcia?
Yes.
Vice President Jenkins?
Yes.
President Young?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. So next up, we have board committee reports. Do we have any committees that have reports for this evening?
So I'll give my report. I attended the IE Works board meeting on August 25th. And on August 28th, I attended the 2nd District open house for Supervisor Jesse Armendariz, where we had 2 mascots there at the event, and we had Aquanetta Warren, the mayor for Fontana, who's here today, participated on a dance-off with the both.
Aqua Boogie Night.
Just showed that, the both water agencies are collaborating, and it was such a great event to see all the locals. We had the Fontana Unified and all these, what other one was there? The fire departments, and it was just such a great event. So I'm really glad that I attended that meeting and event. And that's all I have for the month of August.
Okay. I take it that was your board member report and not a committee report, because we were on board committee reports. Was there any board committee reports? It looks like maybe you have one, Dan, or who was doing that one?
Yes, I had the Safety and Technology Committee. Item 1, the fiber internet Romer Spectrum has completed this construction for the new fiber internet service at Romer, and the service is now active. So we're no more bugs. The site security staff presented the report for quotes received to consolidate and the intrusion alarm with access control system to the security camera system with 11 security cameras to remote sites, which also includes some fencing, I believe. This item will be brought to the board at our next board meeting. And finally, the staff is working on obtaining quotes for replacing the core network switches, which are approaching the end of life cycle. Additionally, conducting a penetration test for network switches once they have been replaced. End of my committee report.
All right, thank you. Any other committee reports? Nope. All right, now we'll do board member reports. Any other reports?
Yes.
Or comments?
Sorry, go ahead. No.
I also attended the open house, and I had a conversation with the newspaper, and I turned it over to Isabella, and I'm sure she did a good job. I'm looking for the printed copy of it, but it was a joyful occasion for all.
Nice.
Dan?
Last week, attended CSDA conference. It was a good conference.
Same thing, CSDA, and also Jesse's San Bernardino County Open House. A very enjoyable event, well done. And what else was the other one? That's it. That was it. I think that's it.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll also say that the CSDA conference was really good. The keynote speaker was Joe Theismann, and that was an amazing talk. And I know a few of my colleagues up here got books signed, I believe. But all in all, it was a very good conference. I do want to just ask for continued prayers for some personal family medical issues going on right now. And that's about all I have for tonight. So we'll pass it over to the General Manager.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have updates on staffing and recruitments and an update on the water rate study. Starting with recruitments, just 2 updates. For engineering project manager, first interviews are scheduled for September 11th with 10 candidates. And for support services supervisors, the first interviews are scheduled for September 17th with 12 candidates. We have continued to work on this since the board workshop on July 31st. We just received the draft report from Raftellus, so staff will be reviewing this report. We're going to review that with Lufti at BBK for overall compliance with Prop 218, and we'll be coming back to the board on October 2nd and present on this report and seek further direction from the board at that time. And that's all for me tonight.
All right. Thank you very much.
And I will pass tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. Public outreach, government affairs. Nothing tonight? Excellent. Board Secretary.
One more slide, please. All right. Quick look at the calendar. Next week, we have a very busy meeting. We have 3 committee meetings, so finance, and then actually 4, executive committee, HR committee, and policy committee. Following week, I wanted to point out it's San Bernardino State of the County on the 17th. All board members have been registered for that event. And then we just have regular scheduled committee meetings the rest of the month. Bloomington groundbreaking scheduled for September 27th. And if we could go to the next slide.
Yep. If we could stay there for a minute, actually.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, can go
Can we
back.
Want to go back one?
Yes. No. Maybe.
Can you go back one?
Well, I was just going to say
Sorry,
that since
slow.
we just approved the sponsorship, we probably need to add that for the night of the 27th, of
Oh,
when
that's
the
correct,
gala
yeah.
is. So
I
if
will
we
get
could-
that on everyone's calendar.
Please. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. You can continue with October. That was it.
It's okay. All right, so now in October, all the meetings just as normally scheduled. The only thing I want to point out is on the 16th, we have board pictures scheduled. So I already sent out the save the date for that. So just keep that in mind. Very important for you all to be here for updated pictures. And I think that's it, unless you guys have any questions about any upcoming events.
Any questions for Paola? Nope. No, I think we're good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. You all have a good night, and we are adjourned.